My bad, I had my mic muted. What's up, everybody? How's it going? We are getting ready to start the EGC 2v2 COD Mobile event for tonight. So I know a lot of people are already here. I already see the chat going crazy. We've got Jerusalem for tonight as our special guest from Aphelion Esports talking Vigilante pregame show. And then, of course, after that, then I start the live broadcast of the entire event. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to get him in here. We'll talk. We'll do the interview, and then after we're done with the interview, I'll go over the brackets like I normally do. I will talk about what teams are in there. I've got a couple of announcements that I'm going to save for right now because I don't think I got everybody in here yet. I'll go over that when probably after the interview also when we got everybody in here. It's good announcements, and at the same time, it's going to make things a lot bigger. So. I'm going to go ahead and get him in here and get this ready because it looks like we got plenty. What's up, Radio? What's up, Blake? Dyslex, Peyton, User. Have anybody else? Eluded's in here. What's up, Eluded? Alright, so let's do this. Drew, can you hear us?
I can.
Alright, how's it going, man?
It's going well, going well. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Glad to appreciate you giving us a little bit of time for the pregame show.
Yeah, absolutely. So, any questions? Seriously, ask away. Happy to answer them.
Yeah, man. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and your position in the Aphelion Esports.
Sure. So, me and Mac made acquaintance. For anyone that doesn't know, Mac Sauce is the leader of Aphelion Esports. Made acquaintance a couple months ago. At that point, there was no CODM program for Aphelion. We were looking to start it. I made introductions to Rectful, and we came over and kind of split duties. He handles all the BR stuff. I took on the mantle of the MP side. Again, there was nothing created, so I don't want to take credit for any of it, honestly. I really don't. I didn't create what we have now. What I did do was meet a lot of amazing people that helped me create what we have now. And I'm also definitely not going to take any credit for anything the VR side has done, because that's completely been the work of Rectful and Moon and everybody over there, and they've done a wonderful job. You know, it's really cool that we do have the #1 team in the game right now, and, you know, I really applaud that success. I think it's really great that that was able to happen. But I can't take credit for anything other than saying, hey, you know what? We're actually talking Mac. That's about all I can take credit for. But since we started this journey, we've just gone from one fortunate event to the next, and I've just completely run into the right people again and again and again. You know, early on, I was able to convince, I don't know how, but I was able to convince Radio, the founder of S&E, to join my venture and, you know, share the workload with me.
I was definitely around in that time period. I remember her talking about it.
Yes, so, you know, obviously she's played a huge role in what we've done, and we've been very blessed to have her.
She is a huge asset. You picked up a really big one there.
Yes, I've told Radio before, and I guess I'll say it out loud. I really wouldn't want to do it without her. We kind of cover each other's bases, and it just works really synergistically. And then on the EU side, I was fortunate enough to meet Clem. Real name is Ben. And we actually met. He came over and he wanted to do a tryout for the NA team. And, you know, we got chatting and stuff, but because he was EU, I said, you know, it's going to be ping issues. And we kind of went our ways. You know, a little bit later, he said, oh, I want to start a team. And I said, okay, well, you know, put together a team, show me some scrim wins, and we'll see what happens. And fast forward to now, he's brought in a top 5 EU team for us. And our program on that side is going incredibly well. We've just got it signed up for the Zenith League. And our NA program, which, you know, I put my efforts into, has grown from very humble beginnings, and like I said, you know, I didn't have any connections in the MP world whatsoever, and we've just grassrooted it. But what makes our approach different than maybe, you know, how others may or may not run it, I'm not here to put anyone else down or to say we're better, but what we do differently is we believe that people deserve a chance for a long-term bid. We don't buy teams and use them and then send them on their way. We recruit people. And if they show us that they're willing to work hard, they don't leave. I don't think I've ever kicked anyone out of AE, except for maybe some extreme reason here or there, who wanted to stay in AE, who wanted to be in AE. We have people on our MP roster, or I'm sorry, we have people that aren't on our MP roster anymore that are still welcome there. My motto has always been, we have live stage ambitions. There is no favoritism. The least important person is me. All that matters is 5 people giving us our best chance to reach our goals. And as long as you're willing to work hard, you have a future. And what's really so wonderful and unique about that is these people don't have to just be done when CODM dies or be done when some other game comes and goes. If you're somebody who's good at touchscreen games and you've shown you can be a predominant force in this one, you will be in the next. So it's very much a long-term strategy. We really look to invest in the people who are willing to invest in us. And as long as you're there working hard and trying, there is no exit strategy. We don't send you away. And it really does feel good to work under those parameters. And I think that's kind of what's got us, some of the wonderful people we have now. And what we've been able to build so far on the NA side, I'm really proud of. I mean, we went from an initial team that could not have held its own, against serious competition to a point where in the next week or so, I would like to see us going top 10 NA. So, it's just, but again, I'm not the guy that did it. I don't play a game. I'm not the guy out there doing it. I'm just the guy that introduces everybody to each other. And at the end of the day, the only reason this is possible is because of the people that have, come aboard and helped us.
Still,
so I think
that's
really
a fully important role to the fact of it. I mean, I see what you're saying. You're putting you put a lot of faith in your players, which is a great thing and a humbling thing. And what's very important, I would think, in an organizational business as Aphelion Esports, like any of the other ones. I mean, Unity, everybody, they know that where the love is where the game is, and the game's played by the players. But having somebody like you up top that's able to work from the background, work in the scenes or the behind the scenes is what's really needed to make it to the next level also. So it's kind of a big team also.
Well, right. I mean, and we all play a role as well. But the number one thing I've always said, and I truly believe, is that if I can show respect to everybody in my division, then everybody in that division better well be able to do the same. I do have some real life coaching experience, and for me, it's losses are a blessing. It's how do you learn from them, making the best of a bad situation, being the person who walks that further path. If someone's being toxic, you don't be back. We like to win on the scoreboard. And that's something that I really try to instill and embody in what we do every day. And I think that's not just me, but I think that's really what a lot of the people who work at AE do. And, not to put my grandpa hat on, but not too long ago, I remember a time when people were a little more respectful. And I think we've lost our way a bit. And I really, the only thing I care about is helping people get to their next path in their journey. I'm not really interested in myself. I personally don't get anything for this. I don't want anything for it. My goal is to help people who are talented and aspiring and passionate and they want to go further, give them a chance that they might not be able to pick up somewhere else. Not everybody can be go ready for a contract. Additionally, we have something we call our academy team. Right now, you need to be 18 to perform the results.
I love that name.
Well, thank you. I wish I could take. I wish I could take credit for it. I'm going to openly admit right now, I completely stole the name off of Tribe. They have an academy team. I saw it and I liked it, so I did.
Matrix Tribe.
So, yeah, they came up with it first. It's not an original, but it's a good one. And something we've also done is, for our starting lineup, it has to be, you know, age appropriate to continue on. Obviously, we want to do lands, we want to do a live stage, we want to compete in worlds, so we have to abide by the rules that they set. However, I think it's really tragic what's happened, where there's a lot of extremely talented 16 and 17-year-olds out there that can't play right now. So I've created something called the Academy Team. In the Academy Team, you can join and be a part of us underage. You can still play. You can still scrim the same teams. We can't obviously put you in these tournaments yet, but what's really unique about it is, again, we don't have any chains on us. We're not limited by a game. We're in 9. You know, the game title doesn't mean anything. So why would, you know, I say, okay, well, in 2 years they will be 18. Why would I not want someone who has amazing talent, who's been tossed to the side, if they just hang out with us for 2 years and then they're good to go, and then,
and it's
you know,
funny
everyone's like, wow.
We've been talking about that in the EGC leadership. We actually just talked about this not long ago, and it's crazy to me, just baffling how many teams are dropping these 16, 17, sometimes younger than that, and these players that are amazing, and they're dropping them just because they can't play in the World Championship. And it's like, these guys are next. I mean, what's wrong with having them on the bottom half? What's wrong with holding on to them? Because they're going to be the next step.
Right, you know, talent acquisition.
I mean, they're already a talent, but they're going to be only better when they get there.
Well, exactly. And, you know, and that's the thing, too. If these comp players are showing this level of proficiency at 16 and 17, there's only experience to be had when they, you know, reach 18. But something people don't talk a lot about as well is a lot of lands and a lot of live stages absolutely allow 17. We don't really know what the future is going to be. It's completely possible 18 plus is the end all be all, and they bump the, you know, up a year for this game or whatever. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Traditionally, it's 17. What if in the next few months, all of a sudden, there's a couple lands that pop up, and I've got a bunch of people who are 17 who aren't necessarily, again, playing on the flagship team that we, of course, are focusing on things like Worlds. But they're right there. And to address why orgs do drop people immediately, it's not personal. It's business. You're being paid to play. They want to see a return on their investment. You know, it's just like a sports team. You know, if you were unable to play for a few years and you're a football player, they'd probably drop you. That's just kind of how they look at it.
I think that's the world. I think that's the area that esports is in right now. Even at the top scale. I mean, you're talking COD League. You had to have $33 million just to buy a team this year. And I mean, they're not going to see that. They're not going to see that return on investment this year. They're not going to see that return on investment in the next 2 years. There's no way. And even after I went to an event, I went to COD League in Atlanta in February, and instead of selling everybody's stuff, you know, all the merchandise, they only sold FaZe, which is Atlanta. And so, I mean, for that aspect of it, mixed in with a whole lot of other things. I mean, you're talking ticket prices. They moved it from downtown Atlanta to College Park, which is, you know, 10, 15 minutes outside of Atlanta. It's just these small things that you could tell they're not getting that return on investment, but the hopes are that they're going to get there. I mean, COD League is expanding, and now you see the World Championship showing up, and that's kind of what we've all been talking about this whole time. Was it won't take long for Activision Blizzard to actually push their way into the mobile. They had to control and see how COD League was going to go. They just got it settled. And so now I think it's their time that they're going to start pushing into mobile, and it's not going to be taking long, and they're going to have their hands in this too, and it's going to be huge.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, absolutely. And, you know, just to kind of reiterate the point where I was at, you know, that is what we are trying to change and make different. Instead of the structure model where we pick you up, you play, you get dropped, we're looking to invest in people. We give people who are able to take a long-term mindset a chance at endless opportunity with us, because we want to be here for a long time and we're not interested in a short-term business approach. We give our players 100% of their earnings. One of the biggest misconceptions in this industry is that a contract, I see it so many times, teams are like, oh, we want 100, 150 bucks a month. We want, you know, this, that, and the other. And if you do the math, especially on anything significant event-wise, there's only one reason that anyone offers a contract, and that's because you can take $100, toss it at a player, and when they win real money, well, you're sitting there and collecting a large percentage of it. It's not a favor, it's a business transaction. We don't care about profiting off of our players at this stage. We're interested in long-term growth. We're interested in being around tomorrow. We get our revenue sources elsewhere, merch, sponsors, in the future investment rounds. We're not worried about taking anything from our players. 100% goes to them. But at the same time, like anything else, you got to earn it. You know, people ask me, oh, you know, why don't I get an instant contract, instant $100? I'm like, well, in order to, you know, have revenue, you've got to justify revenue. If you're not bringing in anything and we're offering you 100% of earnings, if down the road you really want a contract where I take 40% to 60% of your winnings and I give you $150 a month, I mean, that's definitely the better deal for me.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, but it just, I don't know, you know, let's just get away from the jargon and call it what it is. We aren't interested in profiting off of our players. We're interested in building something long term. We want to be here. Like I said, we're looking to the future. We're willing to invest in people.
Look down the road.
We're willing to invest down the road.
This quick cash stuff, guys.
Exactly. And, you know, maybe today's can't compete in CODM 16-year-old mobile player is tomorrow's Area F2 live stage winner. Yep. You don't know. PUBG proved you can translate these skills very easily. CODM is full of PUBG top 25 players that are absolutely disgusting at CODM. You know, it's the touch control. It doesn't go from game to game. If you're a professional player on a console and you pick up a controller and you go to a new game, you're not bad at it. You know, if you're a professional PC gamer, you don't have to learn the control set. Right. You know, this is something that you already know what you're doing. It translates like riding a bike. Once you know how to do it at that level, you know how to do it at that level. So, yes, we, you know, I don't know who's listening, and maybe it doesn't apply to anyone that is, but seriously, if you're 16, 17, you're not going to be on the main roster. You're going to have to step aside and let 18-year-olds take that spot. But come join up, because guess what? Once you are old enough, there'll be a place here for you. You don't have to wander anymore.
Well,
you know, and I really truly hope that CODM drops their age back to 17. I really do. And I have a lot of hope, because traditionally all of the LAN events and live stages have been 17, that continues. I don't really see a reason why that would change.
Do it based off of how many states actually have regulations against that. And I think they've got a majority factor of that. I think that's why they ended up doing it.
Well, you know, and they did something that didn't involve the comp scene, orgs, or any of the above. They just said, here, solo sign up, go at. Here's a bunch of legal jargon. It's much easier to protect themselves at 18 because that's the, you know, age of adult. It's not that they couldn't do it at 17. It's just a lot more legal hassle for them. So they just made it easy. Plus, you can't pay somebody out who isn't 18. So imagine winning money and then who do you pay, right?
Exactly.
It's a whole thing. But, you know, that... with the LANs and live stages, I truly hope, besides Worlds, that they do stick in the 17 range. I don't see any reason they wouldn't. And, you know, if we got to wait 8 months for a player who's amazing to be viable, why would we not want them to be here? You know, like I said, my goal is not to create a top 10 CODM team. I don't care about that. My goal is to create a team of touchscreen players that can literally go into any game and dominate on top 10.
Create the culture. I love it. Create the culture, and it'll be great. But, so tell me, is Aphelion Esports right now, and a lot of people that are jumping in right now are asking who it is. So for everybody that's jumped in, this is Drucifer with Aphelion Esports, the COD Mobile manager. I hope I said that position correctly.
Yeah, I'm their game coordinator, you know. And what we've done, of course, is, like I said, normally a game coordinator oversees the entire game. What is specifically different about CODM is I do not have any involvement on the Battle Royale side. That has been rectified. So I guess, you know, technically you would say that there's two game coordinators for us.
They might as well be two different games.
Right. I handle to make it super complicated, I handle it if clans need to come in and all the other legwork. But yeah, I mean, anything to do with that, that's him. So
So
It's a little
tell me,
separate.
are you guys right now are strictly COD Mobile right now? Do you guys have any plans?
Oh
Well,
no,
no.
Aphelion.
You moved into
Oh
the
yeah.
other ones now, but so what other games are you guys doing besides COD Mobile right now?
We have we are about, I'd say, 6, 7 months old, and we already have oh a Clash of Clans team that's going to Poland in about a month. They've qualified for live stages. We're in Brawl Stars. We're in Area F2.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And honestly, there's a few others. Um, I actually can't remember off the top of my head because I buried myself so much in CODM. But for anyone interested, please do check out our Twitter. I would be more than happy to post a link anywhere you want for that. We also have an information server. So, I kind of bury myself in CODM, but we are involved currently in 9 different games, and we have major teams in several. So, no, I mean, CODM is definitely something we do, but we are a much more deeply rooted esports organization than that, which is nice. That's just more connections. That's just, better. And a lot of people don't understand this, but connections in one game translates to connections in another. The people who run the live stages like ESL are in all the games too. If you've sent a team through them to a live stage, well, the people over there for the next game. So even though they're separate games, those type of connections do translate. So it gives us a lot more resources, and it gives us the ability to really help people out. Another thing I've really seen on the comp scene that is a misconception, and I've been rather surprised by it, is without org backing, you're not going to get into private invitationals. You're not going to make live stages minus something that the game itself is thrown. You can't make the top level usually. So I just looked at the top. I'm telling you though, I just looked at the top 10 NA list, and I saw 3 clan teams on there, and I went, wow, that's some amazing talent that currently cannot ever reach their potential without signing with an org. And a little bit of shameless self-promotion, to my knowledge, we're the only org that's still kind of actively recruiting like this. Tribe Set, they do their thing. Omen's signed some people. They've done their thing.
Tribe's gonna have to worry about anything, at least for a little while.
No, they're
after what just happened.
They're Tribe's a monster. We're not going to pretend any different.
Oh, absolutely. So, actually, speaking of recruitment, we got viewers in here that have asked about it, so I want to touch base on your recruiting policies. What does a player that may be watching right now or may actually see you guys through the event broadcast, what can they do to apply to be into Aphelion Esports?
All right, yeah, sure. So right in our CODM server, we have application channels. There's one for casual, one for battle royale, and one for MP. Anyone is absolutely free to go there and apply. In the MP application channel, I've done the time to type up a nice little questionnaire. You just copy it, type in your answers, paste it back into the channel, and call it a day. We have a really dedicated staff over there that's really done a wonderful job helping. I'm in that channel all the time. My staff's in that channel all the time. We've also done something I quickly wanted to really mention. Besides the academy teams and the org teams, we actually have 2 teams we call clan teams, and it was really important for me to create a community aspect. And just because they're clan teams certainly doesn't mean that they don't have big dreams too. I mean, let's get real. 3 clan teams are literally top 10 in it. So to say you're a clan team and bash somebody for that's a little crazy right now. No, they can't go the full way, and they need to sign with an org one day if they want to. But does that mean that they're not full of talented players? Absolutely not. Very talented. Really great teams. So, to that effect, we have Yellow Gang and we have Sinful Empire, and they go out and scrim. We sign the org team up for official events, but they go out and scrim, and there's almost a beehive, MP community underneath the top one. And, it's really great to see some of the talent rise up. The age restrictions aren't as tight with some of those teams, so it gives everybody, a chance. If they can meet those teams' requirements to, play and get out there and, really work to what they're doing. And both of those clan teams, their leaders work just as hard as I do. And they're every single day they're out there recruiting, and they're building their team, they're practicing, and they're working hard. And it's just really kind of amazing to have that environment around us. So just to clear up a misconception, people say, well, you got 6 teams. No, not quite. We have our NA org team, which is our flagship team. We have our EU team, which is our flagship for the org. We have our academy teams, which is set up so that people who have been shut out get a chance to show what they've got, and they have long-term opportunities. And then the clan teams, I've always let them do their thing. They were all the reason that I asked them to join us in the first place is they already ran teams before they came to me. They already ran their clan, their organization. They already did their thing. And I said, why don't you just come do that with us? And they have, and they've been amazing, to have around. A lot of the leaders are moderators for us. They're really active in our community. And I really like to think that they're really kind of the best part of what we do. So,
and let me point out to everybody that's viewing us right now. Let me point that out. Everything he's saying basically backs up what he said earlier, or what we were talking about earlier. Is you have to have an organization if you want to get to the next level. You're going to have an organization backing, and this is why. I mean, things like this is not things that players can just stop their super busy schedules as is, having to practice, having to strategize, having to get with your coaches, do whatever you got to do. You're not going to be going in the background and making sure all this stuff's going on. So this is really what we're talking about when you say, I want to be on the next level, but I'm just playing with the same four guys and we don't have anything going on. You need to be applying for these teams. I mean, there's so many out there, and some people are made a comment during our last stream talking about making a comment basically saying, hey, is there really any pro teams going right now? Absolutely. I mean, Team Liquid is on there. Red Reserve, who is actually in our pro league. Red Reserve was in COD World League for console. They're a huge team. The only difference is they didn't have somebody that was willing to drop $33 million to buy a place in COD League when it started this year. So regardless of that, you got Team Liquid, you've got Tribe, you've got Red Reserve, there's tons. Now AE, you've got CBK. A lot of huge teams, and you're going to see these teams continue to grow as these world championships expand.
Oh, absolutely. And, just again, while I've got the platform, anyone listening, I mean, there is so much talent that has not been discovered. I am definitely not here to take away from any known players' accomplishments. There are some amazing players we all know of. However, those players also have something in common. They've known how to market themselves, or they've been picked up by people that know how to market them. And that's why they're known. Now, they might have all the skill in the world, but that doesn't mean they're the only ones. And there's a lot of people out there who are very talented, and they just haven't been discovered, picked up, or they aren't good at marketing themselves, which, let's get real, the vast majority of us aren't. Or even maybe they don't care to market themselves, right? They're playing the game, they're amazing at it, but they're not really worried about it. Those are really the people we're looking to encourage to come to us. Because if you have that talent and you're interested in maybe being one of those names, that's something that we can definitely do for you. But what I really want to say too is how we run things here. We run things very respectfully. Everyone is a brand ambassador. You're expected to hold yourself to a higher standard. I don't care if the other person starts it. I don't care what the other person's done. It's not about the other person. It's about you respecting yourself and holding a standard. And that's really, I think, what, we're doing differently. I have a very high expectation standard for the players that come here. We want professional players. If you watch anyone on a live stage, they're not toxic, they're not jumping around, they're not screaming, they're holding their own. And there's another attitude that we look for that's extraordinarily rare, but when I find it, I'm always very excited. And that's someone who is always hungry and eager to learn. They don't get mad about a loss. They go, how did he beat me? They're not worried about even winning or losing. They're worried about how can I always improve myself to be a better player. And I have
that is a rare quality too. It is a refreshing quality when you find it.
It really is, and I'm grateful that we've been able to find a few for us, and that is something we're always looking for. And I have had the ability doing this to talk to players on the absolute highest end of comp, not in just this game, but others, people who have live stage experience, who have LAN experience, and those people always have the same attitude. It's humble. It's, I want to just spend 12 hours a day, just blowing my brain in with strategies, like discussing how do we win, how can we do better, how do we improve. Their attitude is never, oh wow, I won a live stage, I'm the greatest. And I see a lot of ego in this game, and I'm just going to say out loud, ego is not your friend. Every single sports team on a major level that's taken significant losses they shouldn't have is because of ego. One of the things that I hate the most.
You could possibly bring to the table when you come to an organization.
Just for yourself, you're not going to, if you are not looking to push yourself, then you're never going to perform better. Let's say you never join an organization. Let's say you don't even hang out with other people. Your own personal growth, you will not grow if you're never looking. If I'm the greatest, well, then your growth is dead. It just is. If you're not thinking, how can I do this better? How can I improve myself? How can I grow? How can I learn? Then, your path stops there. And that's really always sad to see. And I see these professional players, they are always all about finding whatever edge they can. And these are guys that are winning the biggest stuff. And that's their attitude. They're not, oh, I'm the greatest because I won. It's, wow, it's really great that I beat these guys, but I let them say it's a hard point. I let them get 100 on my 250. Well, why'd they get that 100? What can we do next time so they don't get, maybe we give them to 50 next time. It's not about winning and losing. It's not about, I can't stand it when I hear, oh, they're bad. This is easy. Okay, well, if it's easy, then why is the score not 250-0 in that hard point? Because if they're that easy, they shouldn't be able to score on you. That's really the mentality that we look for here. We're looking for those minds that want more, that are curious, that are intrigued. And
you have to have that because nobody's born with these abilities. We talked a little bit earlier about natural talent. That's completely different than actual wisdom and knowledge. And I've seen, since I've been doing this a little over a year now, I have seen so many different evolutions of revolving, or the way people play the game at all, strategy, your routes that you guys are taking, some of the pinch maneuvers you guys are making, the guns you're choosing. That's all. Everybody plays so different. You would be absolutely wasting your own time if you weren't trying or willing to listen to the other players or just people in general. If you don't take the opportunity to expand your knowledge, it won't be there anyways. You won't get anything out of it that you want out of it. But tell me a bit. That actually makes me think of something. Do you guys have a practice schedule for Aphelion Esports? If you do, tell me a little bit about that.
We do. So how we've structured it is you want your main 5 to show up. We've been doing them every day at 7:50. And how we schedule our day is we'll look for a scrim or two before the 7:50 mark. And then we look for a bunch after. But 7:50, it's really about getting that main 5 together, having them synergize with each other, practice together, work together. And then you have your academy team on the other side, and you're rotating out your bottom 2 frags. Sometimes you're running their mains. And what this does is it gives everybody a chance to synergize with each other. And ideally, you want the academy team to be as good, if not better, than the main. There's no reason with the talent out there that a group of 16-year-olds can't hold their own against a group of 18-year-olds. An academy team doesn't mean lower team. It just means that we can't invest towards you being in a professional event yet. So it doesn't make sense for us to put you on, the team that's going to go for those professional events.
Yeah, they're not below you guys. They're
exactly
right behind you.
Right.
If you do not watch out, they will pass you. Absolutely. And
and that gives everyone a chance to learn strategies, to practice among each other, to synergize, to really push ourselves to that next level. And that's really what we strive for every day. So if you're you have to have that structure, right? If you go out and just play and you win and you lose, but you don't know why you won and you lost, how are you going to improve? It's about, even if you win, your attitude should be, what could I have done differently? Learning. It's all about learning. I don't care about winning and losing. I really don't. If I had a team that went out there and lost 17 scrims in a row and they learned and I saw a dramatic improvement from them losing those 17 scrims, I would be happier than if I had a team that I watched go out and win 17 scrims and I saw their growth stagnant.
Absolutely. And so, I mean, thank you for the fact that you even do a practice schedule, period. You're actually the second team in the entire time I've done a Vigilante pregame show that actually has a set schedule for practicing, which is
Oh wow.
pretty necessary. I would like to think. I never, I don't tell anybody how to run their own thing, but it's, yeah, you kind of need that. Talking about people that usually are just like, well, I'll just wait until so and so's online and whatnot. And it's like that's not schedule. That's that's just availability at that point. But definitely good to have that kind of stuff. So tell me a little bit. I've got players and viewers, I mean, that are asking about your MP team. Can you tell me a little bit about your MP team? Your main
Sure.
MP team?
So yeah, so our org flagship team, I can't say it enough. There's literally one reason that I do this. There's one dream that I have, and that's standing behind my players on a live stage. That's the only thing I want. That's what we strive for every single day. And if you're not always thinking, how can I get that edge? What strategy can I learn? How can I synergize with my teammates? How can I build them up? If we do it poorly, build each other up, go back at it. You're there for each other. The world's against you. You're there for each other. How can we become that team with an edge? Doing those extra steps, really just that camaraderie, looking to be that next bit. And, if you can't do that, then there's no point in what we're doing. I mean, you're going to lose.
Right.
That's good.
And
And the mentality I think I really try to hammer all day is just that, I'm telling you that I think that's the biggest thing that some of, our players, some present, some past, have struggled with. And it's, getting the mentality out of their head of, I did well, and getting the mentality in their head of, yes, I did well, but what could I improve? What could I do better? We
that's
want
the
we want to
mindset
go
you
all
need.
the way.
Yeah.
Right. We want to go all the way, but that's literally my only goal and ambition. And we have built that team from scratch. 2 months ago, it didn't exist. I literally 2 months ago, I ran a push clan in the game, and that was my entire knowledge and involvement in this game. I did not have any connections, did not know anybody in any comp scene, nothing. And what we've been able to do together is I now have access to a vast network. I know the people I need to know to get to where we need to be. And basically, we're offering a ton of resources. You're not, we have professional coaching and all the extra steps needed to, get yourself to where you need to be. So I guess what I would say is we're very actively always interested in players that are here because they want to be the best they can be, because they want to better themselves. And we will always pick the best five, our best chance for success for the main team. However, we don't send anybody out the door. If you're willing to work hard and improve, and you can prove to me that you deserve your spot back on that main five, or maybe you're never on it, and you can be, then it's yours. There's no favoritism.
Absolutely.
It's the hardest working people, the people want to earn it, the people that have the talent, the skill, and they want to be there.
More of the
That's
story.
what we're looking for.
Protect the grind, guys. Don't forget the grind is necessary. You got to do it if you want to get anywhere. Just like you said, he went from zero to contacts to teams to people coming at him, beating him off with a stick for recruitment.
Well, absolutely. There's 500 million downloads for this game. There's tens of millions of active current players. We want to be the people who are winning a live stage. That's 5 people. You're not going to ever reach a goal of that magnitude if you aren't every day just striving to be, the best you can be. And, it's great when people are naturally talented, but natural talent can only take you so far when you're in the playground with every single person has that natural talent. So really, it's those exceptional players who come with a team attitude and a drive, and they want to be. Because at the end of the day, I can dream about a live stage all I want. I can be excited about that, but I can't go 1v5 them. And so, we do everything in our part to support you. We don't take any of the winnings. We work hard all day, every day. We have Jabby and Radio who are managing for us right now, and they do a great job. We've got Coco, who's just come on, and she's helping us with the academy team. We've got Clem, a.k.a. Ben, who is helping us with the EU team. When they've been fantastic, by the way, they've been absolutely fantastic. We have all these great people that are just working so hard to make it happen. You've got Z and Turtle that are constantly working so hard in Yellow Gang. You've got Wu and Phoenix who are always working so hard in Simple Empire. You have all these people that are just coming together and dedicating their entire time and day and effort to something that they're passionate about. And none of us, we aren't paid. I don't receive a paycheck for this. I'm not here for a paycheck. I'm here because I'm passionate about what we're doing. I'm here because being given the chance to take 5 people all the way is something incredible. And that's really what we're here for. So if you want to be a part of something more than yourself, come say hi.
Fantastic. What a guy. I mean, that's exactly what I want to hear out of a manager, period, that could possibly be right. Definitely not even possibly. Definitely going to be riding the wave on to COD Mobile Esports in the future, and I like to hear that. We're running a little bit out of time. We got about 5 more minutes left, but I want to get AE's position on the World Championship right now and your plans for it.
So currently, everyone that we have who's 18 is, of course, signed up and qualified. We will be pushing our 18-plus crowd through. As for plans, I think it's a fantastic chance to meet some fresh talent. I think it's a fantastic chance to meet all those unknowns, all those people that didn't get their spotlight. So, we're really interested and excited in the people we are, going to be able to meet. Of course, our EU team is doing it too. We're sending as many people through as possible. And, enough get through to the other side, which is looking pretty much guaranteed at this point. We'll put that 5 together and we'll continue forward. But I think the downside of Worlds has been it shut the doors for a lot of young and aspiring hopefuls who, the comp scene really, really ground so hard. There are so many people who are in that 16, year range and even 17-year range that they spent the last year or so just killing themselves for this moment. And I really think the way that COD Mobile handled it was a huge, huge slap in the face to them. And I really hope that they come around and at least try to do something for, around 17. Try to, maybe give back a little bit to that community because they did not deserve that. On the plus side, it's a wonderful and amazing opportunity to get as many of our 18-plus members in it, meet some new friends, just keep building on our foundation and, really just kind of hunt for some of that talent that otherwise wouldn't have presented itself. And we will be having 5 18-plus individuals, of course, that will be grinding, for that number 1 spot. And, that's really where we're at and what we can do with it. But there's some positives and negatives about how they handle it. I really am looking forward to the game progressing further with the tournament scene. I mean, I can't say how many times I see people complain that the multiplayer side doesn't have a community scene. But if someone asks for a whole $5 to $10 to do something, I couldn't be me.
Yeah,
right.
That's the thing. And really and truly, I've worked with communities outside of online, and I've done local communities, and it's the same thing. It doesn't matter if you're playing phone games, console games, or card games. It's the same thing. You
right.
get people that want to be a part of it so bad, but they don't want to put in a little bit to make it a little bit better.
Right, so, and just be the change you want to see. I'm sorry, but everyone can afford a Nitro subscription. Figure it out.
I love it. Well, Drew, I really appreciate it, man. This has been a great interview. You coming on and talking to us as the manager of Aphelion Esports and giving us a little bit about recruiting, giving us a little bit about your thoughts on mobile esports and COD Mobile Esports in the future. But hey, man, I really appreciate you making the time to come and talk to us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It was my pleasure.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, you have a good night and good luck to Aphelion Esports tonight.
Thank you, sir. Cheers.
All right. So now you got to talk to a lot of you already know him. You've been joining up to talk to us about it. I've seen y'all's comments. Some of them I could answer, some of them I didn't. We did get to talk about the MP main team. They got to talk about a little bit about their BR team and a lot about their academy team that they got, the up and comings, and we were making that a big part too because of how much controversy that's going on right now after they knocked it up to 18 years of age. So it was a big deal. But outside of that, you guys got to hear from a real, like a very good COD Mobile team manager, an organization manager, and that's what you want to hear. That's the kind of stuff you're looking for. So if you have a chance to try out for Aphelion Esports, I highly recommend them, and I highly recommend a lot of teams. But now at least you've gotten to put a voice to the name. You've gotten to put a little bit of a personality to the name, so you know the kind of people that you would be working with. And you've seen the Twitch chat. These guys are talking about family, talking about friends. You know, they're all family. And so if that's the kind of thing you're looking for, then go for it. Because if you want to be a part of the esports scene that's coming up here in the future, I'm not talking about just right now. The World Championships is a huge deal, but it's just the beginning. That, to me, that's Activision Blizzard's way. For anybody that doesn't know, you should all know by now, but Blizzard did obtain Activision. But anyways, Activision Blizzard, this is their way of dipping their toe in the pool. $1 million is nothing to them, and we all know that. I mean, Blizzard does Overwatch League, Blizzard does WoW, Blizzard does lots and lots and lots and lots of things. But regardless of that, $1 million is a drop in the bucket for them. So it really comes down to the fact that, sorry, somebody had make me get in for the first round, so I got your team going. It really comes down to the fact that you got to be ready. You got to start getting your skills up. You got to start practicing. You got to get with these organizations. You got to get on a team, because this is the time that is going to define whether or not you will be there when this takes off. I promise you that. You take it from me right now. You can quote me on it. When COD Mobile Esports begins, that's where it's going to go, and it's going to go there quickly. I'm telling you, it's going to be fast. They're going to dip their toes in it with this $1 million prize pool. And after they see the amount of downloads, the amount of participation, the way the players play, the community for it, this is so important right here. Just this, not just my Twitch channel. I'm talking about Discord channels. I'm talking about social media. A lot of you guys, let me point that out. So I've had a lot of people, I've been working on the editing of all the videos for the tournaments. I've been working on getting play-by-plays, that kind of thing done. So the reason I'm doing that also is so that way teams like you guys can get representation like you should. So that way when I put it on Twitter, I can say so-and-so, tag you, so people will go to your page, they'll follow you, they'll, go along with you in your esports career. It is so important to make these social medias. It's free, guys. Do it. It is free. There's no reason not to do it. At least make Instagram and Twitter for yourself.